to Mystic Moons. This is for the Scorpio collective, Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, Scorpio as your signature sign, Scorpio distributed over multiple houses or planets, Scorpio, maybe Scorpio in your chart. You have some very prominent placements and they just happen to be very Scorpio-like. Many different ways one can get Scorpio energy. When you have a predominance of an energy, well, I'm sure it's something that you feel. Scorpio, if you appreciate my time and energy, do let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Scorpio, if you appreciate my time as well, you can also, or if you find this reading interesting, you can check out the other readings I've done for the collectives. Based on zodiac, there was a rather long all signs reading I did. I think it was on Friday or Saturday. You can go and check it out. I believe it was Who's Watching You. But anyway, Scorpio, if you feel called to, you can check out the other messages that are on the channel. Scorpio, where I am, it is cold. Of course, we are in a season of cold in an area where we have those 4 seasons. The snow outside, Scorpio, has already piled up over 10 inches. And of course, we're told it's not really the snow we have to watch out for so much, Scorpio, as the wind is pretty intense. So hopefully the power won't go out, Scorpio. But we're in winter. Winter is a fickle time of the year. Cold and snow are a given. Scorpio, let's go and see what sort of message is in your collective. Let us go and see. A message for Scorpio. I have Magician Scorpio with 6 of Pentacles.
Did you experience inappropriate behavior from a man?
Almost a little funny here, Scorpio, with his energy, because, a 6 of Pentacles with Magician is almost asking you to stir things up, Scorpio. I don't want to quite say create some trouble, Scorpio, but I don't know. This is like getting your hands, getting involved deeply, stirring things up, seeing avenues, Scorpio, that you can avail yourself, insert yourself, make use of, and you would be foolish, Scorpio, not to attempt that. Definitely some opportunities here, Scorpio. Also, too, in this energy, Scorpio, observing is very important. things that you observe and that come on your radar, Scorpio, not necessarily information meant for you to file it away and go, that's interesting, okay. This is more like you see something, you see an opening, an avenue, Scorpio. Thank you for the hearts. And thank you for the like. So that's what we're starting with so far. Of course, Six of Cups is Scorpio energy, but that's rather buried down in here. What we have here is all about strategy and placing, well, making use of the information that comes by you, making use of your resources. But in this energy, Scorpio, it's making use of your resources is information and your ability to go and act upon it. We'll find out more. Energies coming up here, Scorpio. Well, I don't know if they're quite relevant yet so far, but we do have some Taurus energy, Scorpio. We do have some Gemini, some Aquarius. Thank you for the like. And thank you for the confetti. So, Magician. Magician is accompanied by a Four of Pentacles. Not quite. Five of, or maybe, is that quite? You know, Scorpio, we already have Gemini energy. I do read my Magicians as Gemini. That was a sticky type of card there. We're going to keep it with us. And Hangman. And Six of Cups. Well, some more Scorpio energy came up here with Six of Cups and Five of Cups. We also have some particularly strong Gemini energy, Scorpio, with some Piscean energy, some Four of Pentacles. Now, Scorpio, there's a couple of messages coming up here as we're starting off this reading. And the first, we are talking about now is the time to act. Also, too, the information that you've gathered has really been enough. Not much more can change by waiting how things will play out by other characters. Some things, Scorpio, should be ultra clear based on the history of what you've gone through. And waiting to go and see how things progress, well, Scorpio, you've waited enough. You've allowed other people to make movements enough. You've had people reveal enough around you, Scorpio. Now's the time, Scorpio, for you to make use of what you know, based on what you've observed. Also, too, not really the time to give out anymore, but almost to collect. What could you collect, Scorpio, in this energy? Let's see some more. All of these are such pensive energies too, Scorpio. Four of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Hangman, all speak of time. They all speak of thought. They all speak of reflection and evaluation, being very conservative with your next moves. Definitely a time to act under Magician. Nothing more is going to change or illuminate itself to you, Scorpio, or worth any value to that illumination more than what you have seen so far. One could say, too, before I go off and start pulling, You know, seeing the true colors of a person, definitely seeing the true colors of the partnership, a partnership, Scorpio, that you haven't been asserting yourself as strongly as you could. You could also say that timing just wasn't there yet, Scorpio, for you to act. Let's see, Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles gets the Emperor. Seven of Pentacles, excuse me, Seven of Wands. Ace of Cups. My cat goes meow in the background. You know, he wants you to know that it's always a joint production. He says, I'm in the background too. Oh, by the way, he's a Scorpio. My loudest kitty is a Scorpio. Sometimes I forget about that. Fitting then he should be meowing on a Scorpio reading. Anyway, Emperor, Seven of Wands and a Ace of Cups under a Four of Pentacles. Well, this is waiting for the opportunity to strike. Also, too, we could say we in the Seven of Wands and Emperor, waiting for recognition, perhaps waiting for acknowledgement. But this is also like waiting to go and expand, perhaps to claim more, especially under a Four of Pentacles. And what this tells me, Scorpio, if you wait for other people to go and give you avenues, give you room, wait for them to give you more space, perhaps more power, definitely more visibility, definitely more credence, something that you've asked for, something that you've made known that you needed. And if they have been piecemealing that to you, Scorpio, you've been waiting for, let's say, the full reward to come through. Because again, we have the vibration of Four here, Scorpio, which is foundation. And this spread incrementally, you could be thinking this is building up to the success you want, the visibility you want, Scorpio, as long as you're patient enough. But patience, Scorpio, is just going to extend this. It's not necessarily like, I'm not saying you won't get it, but you could get it after 10 years. And Scorpio, why wait 10 years if you could have it literally in perhaps 10 hours? With the right moves, with the right words, with the right actions. And that's the sort of energy that we're dealing with, Scorpio, waiting for other people's timelines to produce what they said they did, what they said they would, rather. Well, you've seen where that's gotten you, Scorpio. Now's the time to demand payment, to collect. Enough time has been already invested, Scorpio, in whatever promises, definitely of a higher visibility that's been promised you. Definitely, Scorpio, the satisfaction that's owed to you. We could also say that as well with Emperor and Ace of Cups. You know, this is like Scorpio taking this energy, like taking shallow breaths. Scorpio, have you ever practiced breath control? There's many different philosophies now under various different techniques of breath control. But one of the most prevalent ideas, Scorpio, well, not maybe the most prevalent idea, but let's say the idea that sort of informed the more modern techniques of breathing, is that when we're born in life, we're already rationed a set amount of breath. Isn't that odd? to think of it that way. And the idea is that if we breathe more properly and we take each breath and breathe it in as properly as we could, then we could go and get more of a duration between them, right? We can go, in other words, we can either live healthier, perhaps we can live longer. You know, those sorts of ideas are behind breath control. But in this energy, Scorpio, the breath that has been taken has been gas, not really even breathing, shallow breathing, waiting for the moment when you could finally take those cool intakes of air, when you can relax, Scorpio, because you've achieved what you have been anxious about. Anyway, 5 of Cups, with that Lovers that came out all sticky to it. Not really cards are sticky, but you know, it wanted to come out too. We have time here referenced as well, Scorpio, time building. Also, too, time getting to know one another, time spent revealing oneself. That energy is compounded here with Wheel of Fortune, Sun, and 9 of Pentacles. 9 of Pentacles tells me, Scorpio, well, first of all, everything that you've been delayed on, Scorpio, there's been no real concrete reason for that delay. There's nothing that you have to earn, Scorpio, or have to prove. That doesn't take away the fact that time nonetheless has been spent, well, shining. That's essentially what this energy is, Scorpio. Let's go on to the next one. That is projecting brilliance when the brilliance was already known. And Hanged Man. Hanged Man gets a 3 of Wands. Another 3, 3 of Cups. And the Hermit. Not the best energy here, Scorpio. This energy shows that lots of people have been having their eye on you. Perhaps some people have been having their foot on you, Scorpio. People have been allowing you to go so far, to see so much, trying to go and influence the reality, Scorpio, that you are in, primarily to keep control, to have you beneficial to them, controllable by them, whoever them may be. We'll think about that more in a second. What I do know here, Scorpio, 3 of Wands, 3 of Cups, and a 9 of, 9, a Hermit. Magician, I mean, not Magician, excuse me, Hangman. Hangman goes down to a vibration of 3 as well. It's 12. 12 goes down to 3. We have quite the strong iterations of 3 here. And this is basically ebbing and flowing. Definitely talking about your social perception here, Scorpio, and how much you've asserted yourself. In this energy, those Scorpio, I could see almost an ebb and flow from that. There's teamwork that you have worked your way to, and perhaps removed yourself after seeing just how far the effort and the time has gotten you. And also, too, some dissatisfaction. You know, threes are the type of energy in which people can get wrapped up in, get excited about. And likewise, just like you can get excited about, really pull people to your cause or be pulled to a cause yourself, Scorpio. You can also distance yourself from certain things that once excited you because you see how far it gets. You see the boundaries. And that's why also, too, we have threes. It's one circle to another circle to another circle as well, time has permitted you at a specific stage of effort to participate in. Scorpio, something is overdue for you. Well, I'm not going to say overdue. Something now is time for it to be changed. Definitely talking, Scorpio, about how people regard you and what people have been getting out of you. How, do I say the word, how much you could be placated? How much, Scorpio, you've been allowing certain things to pass on. I don't even want to say on loan, but waiting for, okay, maybe not right now, but later. What have you been waiting for, Scorpio? What have you been pushing off, Scorpio, with the people who you've been dealing with, that it's been later when it should be now? And now, Scorpio, when everything really is a tinder box of energy, everything, Scorpio, is thrown up into the ether. Lots of aggression too, Scorpio, is being thrown up into the ether. And this is telling me, Scorpio, in this energy, now is the time for you to assert yourself. Now is the time, Scorpio, for you to change the dynamics that you've been involved in thus far, because, Scorpio, you've waited long enough. And you see, Scorpio, how far you've gotten. And now, Scorpio, it's time for you to step out of whatever timetable you've been abiding by. Let go, move on, and create anew. That is my message for you, Scorpio. Scorpio, if you appreciate my time and energy, do let me know. Give me a thumbs up. Scorpio, I will be leaving this live up for a little bit of time. If anyone would like to donate for a paid reading, I am available. I will be listing the payment options in the pin message. I'll create one and pin it to this live. Scorpio, if you're interested in any other collective messages, do check out the other readings that were done for your collective, if you feel called to. Until next time, bye-bye. All righty. Are you there? Okay. Give me a second and we'll start. First of all, thank you for your support. So you have a moving question. For relocation. Let's go and see. And I saw that you just wanted to see it generally. Are there plans that you're in the midst of or already have made? There's no need to say anything more. Let's go and see what's in your energy about moving, relocation. What comes out? Right now it's 2:34 where I am, so I'll conclude this at 2:44. Or as long as the message goes. Let's see. I mean, as short as the message goes. Let's go and see what we have. Relocation. Three of Pentacles with the Tower. First of all, with your question of relocation. Relocation is something that is a team effort, a group endeavor, not necessarily something you can initiate by yourself, something that you definitely need help to do. Could also say too with Hierophant, Empress, Tower, Three of Pentacles, that the value of having you come closer, the value of having you in the near vicinity is a primary motivation for people opening up their doors for you, or perhaps a new environment opening up the doors for you. You're an asset to have, an asset possibly. Well, I mean, what is that? The Tower. An asset possibly to go and fulfill something that's missing. A bonus not necessarily anticipated. An addition that has been anticipated. And finally, the date of having you there is getting closer and closer. Those sorts of energies are here. But I would say a welcomed addition wherever you go. And you definitely need help, support, external forces for you to make this move, or at least to make this move successfully. Chi-Chi. One moment, I think my cat. So we'll find out more. 3 of Pentacles. With envy. Whoever brings you around. Oh, first of all, I'm going to say both your current environment and your future environments. Lots of envy there, precisely because of who you are in that Empress energy. Empress Hierophant energy. There's a perceived cloud, or the way that you hold yourself different than the groups that you're in and around. You gather attention. I feel like both places, your current place, your new place, has friction. And just because it's friction doesn't mean it's going to stop you. Do I see you moving? I do. I see you relocating. I see you moving. I see friction where you currently are. I see friction to where you're going to go. You know what the problem is, or the issue is? You just have very large energy, a strong presence, and it's warranted. It's not necessarily something that you have to brag. You yourself and your presence shows your ability, shows your intelligence, shows your capacity, shows your capabilities. You know? And that's going to cause chi-chi, certain types of feelings there. Oops, bunch of cards. Too many cards to fall out. Five of Pentacles. The Moon. No, with Four of Swords. Here, the Moon, Five of Pentacles, tells me that the issue, the topic of moving, relocating, perhaps even moving around to areas that hasn't exactly been your spot, has been a theme. It looks like you have been in flux. You have been sort of skating in and out of different environments for periods of time. All those periods of time have been mismatches in some way. And that reason is because, well, they covet what you have. Perhaps they covet the little of what you have and determine not to allow you to get a foothold in each spot that you're in. You're around too much people with low vibrations. Also, too, we could say with this energy as well, you've been around people that basically, you know, they wear who they are, you know, very one-dimensional types of people. And when they sense that there are more dimensions, more capacities past the initial public persona mask, they can feel that and are threatened. Anyway, with moving, it's an effort to move. It's an effort to move. But I do actually see that happening. You've already decided on it. There's nothing worth waiting around for. In this energy, we could be talking about 3 months to possibly 3 months. Threes are relevant coming up here, but they also speak of partnership again. World and Three of Pentacles. World breaks down to 3. We got 2 more minutes. Take a little bit more information. The World I have last year. Chi-Chi. The Moon I have story. And 5 of Pentacles I have burned bridges. Nowhere for you to go but forward. All relevant things you've already closed out, or anything tying you down, you have properly addressed. I would also say too, in this energy, now is the time when you can go and create a fresh narrative to entice people. Chi-Chi. Come on, Chi-Chi. And essentially that's what I have. Would you like to go on a little bit more? Or is that good? Sure, take your time. Okay, well, let me know when you're ready. And we'll dive into it a little bit more. Okay, so first of all, with where you're at, there's nothing keeping you here. And in fact, I would say as well, with the environment that you're in, everything likewise, like there's nothing keeping you here, everything has released you, almost ejected you. Where you are is not a space where you're meant to be anymore. I have strength. Two of Pentacles. And a Ten of Swords. Well, first of all, do I say this? The people who you leave, you won't see again. It's a little heavy. That's a little heavy, but that's the main one I get. There's something else equally as heavy what I got from this strength. Two of Pentacles and a Ten of Swords. Let's go. You have Reinvention coming up. You do have a move coming up. A move in which you'll be going in comfortable enough energy. Do you know anyone born in the year of a tiger? Have you left behind someone born in the year of the tiger? Someone that assisted you from remaining in a pitfall or going towards a pitfall, or someone who was that pitfall in tiger energy, maybe both. Actually, first of all, know that with you, the move coming up, the move should be very, very beneficial for you. Seriously beneficial for you. The standing that has caused a lot of people to give you difficult times, the reasons why people have given you difficult times precisely is going to be flipped around and become the reason of why you'll succeed. Because you always had all the elements of success there, just everyone was too threatened to allow you to gain what you deserved. I have High Priestess. Kind of looks like that move could happen at any moment. As soon as you give the word, or as soon as someone gives the word, everything is all set in motion. It's like trying to go and find the best time to go. But everything is very much, well, not exactly something you can plan on. So many things are in flux. Instead, you're going to have to ultimately count on your gut. You're also going to go and trust the few people that have your trust. Well, you're going to have to follow cues from them in some way. Maybe they're the ones who facilitate packing up for you. Maybe they're the ones who you'll be staying with for a period of time. There's almost like an element of vulnerability that you have to release control into other people's hands. Not for a long time, but just to make that step, that segue. Are you going somewhere for a job? Well, you very easily could be moving for a place with more work here with the cards that are coming out. It's not necessarily a social life I see, unless it's a social life in which you establish yourself towards the top of hierarchy. A much different position than you have been before. Chi. Come on, Chi Chi. Let's see a little bit more on this move. I'll use another deck. I have Temperance, another Ten of Swords, Six of Wands. Well, it's going to be entirely different for you. There's some sort of really, do I say nasty or crucial or pivotal? There's something very unpleasant enough that's closed out for you. As I said, I feel like you've been ejected from the place that you've been operating in. Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi. One moment. Why are you acting up? All right, I have him in the cubby. I think that took a minute, so instead of ending at 2:56, we'll end at 2:57. Anyway, back to the Ten of Swords that's coming up here. You know, you may feel like you've lost a significant amount of time to simply treading water, you know, attempting to go uphill, but not really getting much traction. But there is success coming. We had that also Six of Wands energy coming out before as well. And it looks like really for this next phase, the move that's upcoming, there's a lot of power that's going to be in your hands. And that power is something that you can increase quite easily. If you strive for it, if you reach for it. In terms of timing, you know, there's a little bit of process here. There's a process for you to be able to move. There's a little process for you to get settled. But I do feel like ultimately things should go a lot faster for you than they have been. Anyway, in short, yes, I see a move for you. Yes, if you're wondering about moving, you should move. I see primarily your social standing changing. I was wondering if there was something that would come up specifically about work or about love here, but really I just get your own ranking. Your own ranking is what's going to be able to increase. And what you do with that is up to you. I will also say in this energy, as your ranking increases, the people who will come to you will come to you precisely because of networking and what you can provide. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. Do you have any other questions before I close out? My cat certainly has a lot to say. Okay, well, you're welcome. Definitely. I would say you definitely haven't missed out. Whatever that Ten of Swords is that you've been muddling through, it hasn't stopped what you're meant to do. Maybe one could say you haven't even been delayed either. Whatever discomfort you have gone through, have been going through in this Ten of Swords, Five of Pentacle energy, you precisely went through this energy to cut out some things that you would have refused to cut out otherwise. I'm sure you know yourself that which you absolutely won't touch, or that you won't have any sort of ego. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know, sometimes you could be there, oh, I can do this, I can do that. Maybe it's a bit difficult, but I can do it. I believe in myself. I know I can do this right. And lights, did you have anything that you were particularly fixated on, that you were going to use your gifts, your time, your energy, your presence on to develop, just because you wanted it, because there was an emotional attachment? Is there anything that you would have left the door open to? Likewise, anyone who you would have left the door open to otherwise, if things didn't get this unpleasant? I'm sure there were a few things like that, Scorpio, in this energy, in order to make sure, Scorpio, you would never, ever, ever touch this again, look at it again, speak of it again, speak to it again, Scorpio. Your hands, something ensured that your hands were severely burned by this, and you would shun it, which is necessary, Scorpio, to be on the path that you are meant for. Anyway, that's my additional words for you, Scorpio. Thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone else, for your time. I think that is going to be it for me right now. You know, the cat meowing in the background is a Scorpio. Come on. I have one Scorpio and 3 Taurus kitties. He is, he's funny. Anyway, bye-bye.